Good morning, everyone. Today is a special day in America. It is the culmination of efforts by millions of Americans across the United States to help elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, the next president and vice president of these United States. Here in Pennsylvania, it is was the effort of thousands of folks here in Erie County and tens of thousands of volunteers across Pennsylvania that helped deliver Pennsylvania for Joe Biden in 2020. Today is for and about that army of volunteers who work tirelessly to restore hope, dignity, and honor to the White House and to the presidency. So many folks that worked with us throughout 2020 had hoped to be in Washington today to celebrate the inaugural events. But for any number of reasons, that simply was not possible. But I'm glad that you decided to join us this morning. And we have a wonderful program that's going to lead into the official inauguration events in Washington, D.C. Today, we'll be joined by Congressman Bob Brady, the chairman of the Philadelphia Democratic Party. We'll be joined by State Representative Malcolm Kenyatta, and also by Indiana County Commissioner Sherene Hess to talk to us about rural organizing in 2020 and what we might expect from the Biden administration going forward. Nancy Patton Mills was expected to join us. She is the chairwoman of the Pennsylvania Democratic Party, but Nancy is recovering from COVID this morning, and we wish her well. I've seen our vice chair, Sharif Street, jump in and on and off the Zoom this morning as well. So if he pops back in, we'll be glad to add him to the conversation. My name is Jim Wertz. I'm the chairman of the Erie County Democratic Party, and I couldn't be more pleased to host this event for you here today. So I want to begin by talking for a moment with Congressman Bob Brady and Chairman Brady. What an amazing day this is, and what an amazing culmination of effort across Pennsylvania. But I want to start out by talking with you about your long friendship with Joe Biden and the fact that that you have long been a supporter and an advocate for Vice President Biden to join the presidential fray. There was some chatter about him potentially jumping into the race in 2016, and I know that you were supportive of that idea then. And so here we are in 2020 and now January 2021, and it's all about to happen. How excited are you for this moment?
I'm thrilled. You know, it's always great to have a personal friend aspire to whatever they were aspiring to, especially when it's the highest office in the world. And he's been my friend for 35 years. He was our senator, even though he was from Delaware, because we didn't have a Democratic senator for years. And we used to call him our adopted senator. He came to many events many years ago. A while ago, he was going to run for president, maybe maybe 14, 16 years ago. We told him we'd be right there with him, and then he bowed out. And if you remember then, he had a medical issue, the same medical issue that his son had. And his son unfortunately passed away. And then, like you said, in 16, he was running, and it was a tough choice. I mean, he was running against Hillary Clinton. Bill Clinton was, as you well know, a president and a friend of ours, all of ours. And I had to tell him, look, I said, he's been my personal friend for a lot of years, and if he's going to run, I'm going to support him. And I met with Bill Clinton privately, and he said, well, can you help me a little bit? I says, I don't know how to do that. Philadelphia, again, is a good friend of his. He's a good friend of ours. And he didn't get mad at me. He shook my hand, Clinton. He said, well, we can appreciate loyalty, which I was a little nervous about. I was one-on-one with him, in the back room there. And he was okay. And then when Joe decided not to run, actually the first person call I got was from Bill Clinton. And he said, where are you now? I said, I'm not now. I'm with Hillary, and the rest is history. So again, when he was deciding whether he was going to run or not, I met with him. I remember when the Pope was here. We had a private meeting with the Pope down before he flew off down at the airport. And it was Hunter, Bo, and Joe and Jill and me. And he said, I really think I'm going to do this. He says, I'm really looking forward to doing this. And what do you think? I need to, want your, your guidance and whatever. I said, look, do it. Why not? There's a big field out there. I think that, I think you, no question about it, it's going to be a great president. I mean, we all know that. And you know what? No disrespect to anybody who's running, including the vice president. But he's the best person I know, and I know him again, biased, but the best person I know that can unify us, and we do need to be unified. What happened last week was a disgrace. I'm glad I'm watching, as you all, I'm sure too, are watching on TV. That's not happening again. Thank God. But there's no question that he could be. He's the best person to unify us. Not knowing this was going to happen when he won the primary, when he running for office, not knowing how disgraceful, absolutely disgraceful, the man without a country, our past president, just the egotistical narcissist that he is. He had to leave early, and the only reason why he left early because he wanted to fly Air Force One. Because as we're speaking, he's still the president of the United States. But if he would have came to the inaugural and walked down the steps like traditionally with the president, with Joe Biden, and got on Marine One, and they would have flew him to the airport and had to fly private. Now he wanted to get the last perk out. Him and his illustrious family getting up on Air Force One. I watched that, and as he was flying off, I was standing up and applauded that he's gone. But again, like I said, I met with Joe when the Pope was here. He said he's going to do this. I said, count me in, whatever you need me to do. And I've been, we've been working this ever since. Every time he comes to Philly, he calls me. Called me the other night, said he's coming in Philadelphia on Martin Luther King Monday, and I met him, and he gave me. I had it with me. I keep it with me. I don't know if you know what this is. This is a contest coin that he gave me, and it's from the President of the United States. But the most important part about it, it's the first one. So I got the first coin from the President of the United States that actually I'm going to keep and I cherish. But yeah, he's our friend, but he's everybody's friend. As you well know, he adopted me. Well, he's born and raised partially in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Makes no bones about it. And he's kind of proud of the fact that Jill, even though the first lady is from the county, Montgomery County, she still calls herself a Philly girl. When I met him on Monday at the airport, I said to him, and I saw him and I saw Jill. I said, hey, your bodyguard with you, the Philly girl, because remember he pushed a couple of people off stage. But it's a great honor. I mean, he's my personal friend. He calls me at least once or twice a month. I'm going to get a secure line in my house in case he needs to call me without having everybody have to listen in. And I'm honored to do that. I got a title, and the best title you could have, I'm Joe's friend. And I'm going to keep that title, and I'm not going to take advantage of him. So it's great that you do this, Jim. It's nice of you to do this. Good to have my friends on here. If you don't mind, my senator, my dear friend is on. Yeah. I'd like to him, if I can introduce him, just having you introduce him. It's our vice chair, Nancy. I'm sorry, I didn't know she had COVID. Is she recovering? Is she done with it? Do you know?
Yeah, she's getting better, but she was not feeling up to join in the call this morning. So we wish her all the best.
And everybody here in the call, stay safe. We're so close. We're at 1B now, maybe going to 1C real soon. So close that hopefully, we can get this vaccine, and God forbid, right. we don't want nothing to happen before that. So again, Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I'm glad you could join us, and please stick with us because I want to come back later and talk with you more about election night and the days that followed there, not only in Philadelphia but here in Erie as well, and across the Commonwealth as we were counting. We've got Senator Street also, also in Philadelphia, and Representative Malcolm Kenyatta. I want to talk with Senator Street in just a few minutes. We want to talk a little bit about the Electoral College, and I also want to bring in first though Representative Kenyatta, because he has to leave us for another event, and I promised that I would get him in and get him out of here. And I just want to talk to Representative Kenyatta about that moment about at the Electoral College making the motion for Joe Biden to receive Pennsylvania's electoral votes. You were a great surrogate not only across Pennsylvania, but anywhere the campaign needed you to go. And tell me about what it's like to, a kid coming from a poor neighborhood in Philadelphia, and you get to make that motion here last December.
Well, first of all, good morning, and I want to say hello again to my great chairman, Chairman Brady, and to so many of the people who are watching right now, who work their butts off to make this happen. What we're seeing today, even though it was a lot of fits and starts, we saw the disgraceful violence of last week. 4 years of a guy who could not care less about American values, about what it means. And we had an opportunity right now with this inauguration that's about to happen to really do what President Biden has been talking about for many, many months now. This idea of building back America better than it's ever been. And it is incredibly moving to have had the honor of making that official motion to give Pennsylvania's 20 electoral votes to Joe Biden, the person who, irrespective of what some of my Republican colleagues say, won this election fair and square, won in a huge landslide. And he walks in today with a mandate, a real mandate, to do everything that he's laid out to do and laid out as his plans to do. He has a mandate right now to make sure that not only do we protect folks' right to unionize, but we actually expand it, that we actually do comprehensive immigration reform, that we actually do lift the minimum wage and give folks hazard pay, that we actually do expand health care for everybody, and that we actually do that infrastructure week that the former president was talking about for many, many years. We have an opportunity right now to get it done. And this is proof positive that in the face of incredible challenges, America is strong and it's resilient. And no matter what folks tried to do, the games they tried to play in Congress, I believed, as I believed on day one, when the vice president announced and I endorsed him, that he was the person who was going to be able to really unite this country. And that unity means that we have to heal. And to heal, you have to have justice and accountability. And to heal, you have to deal with the systemic issues that have made us sick in the first place. And I think that he's somebody who understands the systemic issues we face, and that really is going to be able to bring folks together around big, bold solutions that address the concerns folks in my district here in North Philly, and also a lot of folks in Erie who felt forgotten and ignored by politics that is so often focused on folks who are well off and well connected, and not on people who are working class and working class people. And Joe Biden is a working class guy who understands exactly what that means. And he's going to have with him in Kamala Harris, not just somebody that's breaking a glass ceiling as the first woman, but somebody who's incredibly talented and who understands the legislative process, understands how to run big organizations and big operations. And I know that the vice president the president now will be able to lean on her as vice president the way President Obama leaned on Joe Biden when he was vice president.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Representative Kenyatta. Please feel free to stay with us as long as you can and to rejoin the conversation if at all possible. I want to, in just a moment, we'll be welcoming into the conversation Attorney General Josh Shapiro, but I want to go now to Senator Sharif Street. Senator Street, you and Attorney General Shapiro are good reminders that there were more people on the ballot this year than just the president and vice president, and so you had a big task yourself, and running for re-election in Philadelphia, and also traveling the state, campaigning for the Biden campaign, and helping pull together the Pennsylvania Democratic Party and lead alongside Chairwoman Mills the efforts for the coordinated campaign and to ensure that Joe Biden would be our next president and Kamala Harris our next our vice president. Tell me a little bit about those efforts and how you feel 2020 bore out at the end of the day for Pennsylvania.
Well, first, Chairman Wertz, I want to thank, on behalf of Chairwoman Mills, who unfortunately, because she's dealing with her own health issues, couldn't be here. On behalf of all the Pennsylvania Democrats, I want to thank you for the work you guys did in Erie. You guys did a good job. You worked hard, and like any county chairs, we wouldn't have been able to get this done Chairwoman Mills really wanted to be here. She values the work that's done, and I'm pleased to be here both on my own accord and also as vice chair since your chairwoman is feeling under the weather. But look, it was a tremendous honor to be on the ballot with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It was a tremendous honor to be able to campaign for them. And it was great to be able to travel around, as always, as we've been doing for years, to talk to people in every county. When Chairwoman Mills, Nancy Mills became chair and I became vice chair, we decided that we were going to have a 67 county strategy and we were going to work in every county because we felt in the past that was part of the problem. The state party hadn't spent enough time working in every county and understanding the nuances of every issue. So it was great to do it in 2020, but we were out there in 2019 working in county, the local elections and the county elections. In 2018, we got the big wins where we picked up 6 Senate seats and 14 state House seats and 5 congressional seats. So this was the culmination of years of effort, and I'm glad we did. But it was it was basically letting folks know that as Democrats, we did have some values. We're a big, diverse party, but there's some things that are core values. If you're sick, you should be able to see a doctor. There are all kinds of debates about how we should go about paying for that and different ways to move forward. But we believe that access to healthcare is a right, not a privilege, and that every person who's sick in the greatest country in all the world should be able to see a doctor. That if you put in a decent day's work, you should get a decent day's wage. That's not real complicated to us. There's lots of ways to approach it, and certainly I support increasing the minimum wage, as does Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. But that fundamental principle about you got to be paid a decent, there are tons of Walmart employees that work every day, 40 hours a week, full time, and have to be on welfare in order to make ends meet. How do you work a 40-hour job and you're not get paid enough that you have to be on welfare? You shouldn't have to. We understood that. Look, our environment was important, and we needed to be able to point our take care of our energy industry and balance that out with making sure we also took care of our environment. We understood that both our rural communities were important and our urban communities. And the great part about Joe Biden was, as a guy from Scranton, he understood that. He understood a lot of Pennsylvania issues. He grew up in Scranton. He lived right outside of Philly. He's probably been to Western Pennsylvania as much as any person that's ever run for president. And so people of Pennsylvania knew Joe Biden. And Kamala Harris brought a wealth of experience, having served as a district attorney, California state attorney general, and a U.S. senator to the position that made her abundantly qualified. And there was a certain electricity around her candidacy and the history-making nature of it, breaking that glass ceiling for women, but also for women of color, both Black and South Asian women. And so there was a lot of interesting things. But I think the fundamental thing wasn't the identity politics around them, which is historic. But the fundamental thing was that we were talking to regular folks about how we were going to make their lives better. We were in the midst of a pandemic, and Donald Trump was going around creating super spreader events. While we had people dying, hundreds of thousands of people dying, he was in denial. So Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to work to make sure we can get resources out. As a senator, I'm proud to work on those same issues. We were moving legislation. We had, during 2020, we had George Floyd to get killed. We had George Floyd murdered. And we needed to deal with our own use of force issues like the Antoine Rose issue, which happened right in East Pittsburgh, which for folks who don't know, it's not the city of Pittsburgh, it's its own small town. So we were proud to move through the General Assembly legislation to deal with use of force and to deal with training and to deal with databases, to deal with those issues. I'm proud to have sponsored and worked on some of that legislation myself and voted for all of it. And so we were dealing with those issues that were both national and state. And I think as PA Dems, we rose to the occasion. But the work we did doesn't matter if there aren't for the people in individual counties working hard. And so, Chairman, you were right in the midst of everything in Erie, with folks focused on you in every different way. And we're proud of the numbers that you brought in for Joe Biden. Erie, folks may not know this, but Erie is one of the nation's #1 bellwether candidates for president of the United States, of any county in America, not just any state, but I think you are the #1 bellwether county. And we're glad that you rang the bell for Joe Biden.
Well,
And
so were we, Senator, and I got to tell you that no pressure felt here in Erie County with the world watching. 18 different countries we spoke with over the course of the campaign, media from 18 different countries, that is, and so every day it seemed the phone was ringing or someone new was walking through the door and reminding us that we were indeed that bellwether county. You mentioned that Kamala Harris was an eminently qualified attorney general. I'd like to bring in another eminently qualified attorney general, our own Attorney General Josh Shapiro. Josh, thanks so much for joining us this morning. And first, congratulations. Yesterday was your swearing in for your second term, and we couldn't be happier that you're back to fill another term and represent the people of Pennsylvania.
Well, Jim, thank you so much. Chairman Wertz, thank you so much. And it is good to see you, although I wish we were all together watching this celebration of our democracy, of our institutions, which held during these many challenges. Let me just say a quick hello to my friend, Senator Street and Congressman Brady, Commissioner Hess, and all of the other guests that you're going to be having on here today. I was sworn into my second term yesterday to be the people's attorney general, the people's lawyer, and to take on the big fights for them. And it was a different experience being in basically an empty room just with my kids so we could all stay healthy. But nevertheless, it is still my profound honor to serve in this capacity as your lawyer and to fight for you. And I know that I would not be here but for the extraordinary efforts of the Erie County Democrats, who not once, but twice delivered Erie County for me in 2016 and in 2020. And I remember, Jim, when we stood outside on a relatively chilly night, about 10 days or so before the election, when we rolled that bus up to Erie, and we said it was going to come down to whether Erie could deliver. And you did for the next president and vice president of the United States, and you did for me. I do want to just note that, I've sat in front of this bookshelf talking a lot about our democracy and protecting our democracy. Over my shoulder here, I was made fun of by Leslie Jones and others for having an apple on my bookshelf. It is not an apple that's on my bookshelf. It's an Erie Seawolves baseball that has been up there the entire time. I'm grateful to Erie, and I love baseball there, and I'm glad that it is preserved. I look forward to going to a game with all of you. Look, I'll just say this very, very, very briefly. This election has been unlike any other. Attacks on our democracy, attacks on our system of voting, attempting to make it harder for people to vote, particularly harder for people who look like Sharif Street, not who look like Bob Brady and Josh Shapiro and Jim Wertz to vote. We called that out. We defended people's right to vote 19 times before Election Day. We won every one of those lawsuits. And 21 times after Election Day, we won every one of those lawsuits to protect people's vote and to ensure that it was counted. And while there is a lot that we still have to unpack, including the violent insurrection that was egged on not just by the President of the United States, but by his enablers, people like Mike Kelly and others who disgraced our Constitution. I think it is important, though, that we do take a moment today to celebrate and to recognize that our institutions did hold and that there is going to be a peaceful transfer of power in about 45 minutes, and that you, the voters of Erie County and the voters of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, your voices were heard in this process. And you made a massive difference, not just in this Commonwealth, but in this country. So I want to thank the ErieDems for what you've done for all of us. I'm so excited for Joe Biden and my longtime friend Kamala Harris to assume the leadership of this nation. It is historic, and it is a testament to the hard work of so many people from all different backgrounds who came together and said that we demand a change. And that happened in Erie County, across our Commonwealth, and across this country. So while we've got a lot of questions still unanswered and a lot of work to do to repair the damage, let's make sure we take some time to celebrate. I'm glad that we could celebrate here together today. And I'm looking forward to not just this chapter, but writing many more chapters together for our Commonwealth and our country with the Erie County Democrats. So thank you so much, Jim. I'll turn it back to you, and I appreciate you having me.
Well, thank you, and we're grateful that you could join us this morning. And I can only imagine that you didn't begin 2020 thinking that you and your staff would spend so much time in court defending democracy related to this election. And the people of Erie County and the people of the Commonwealth are certainly grateful for all of your efforts there. And the people of Erie County are also particularly grateful for the work that you did on helping to make sure that that the Seawolves were here for another summer and a couple more summers to go. Maybe not as important as democracy, but when it comes to June and July, it's still a pretty it's high on the list here in Erie County. So thank you for all those efforts, and please feel free to hang with us for as long as you are able this morning. I want to shift gears to Commissioner Sherene Hess. Commissioner Hess is a commissioner in Indiana County, Pennsylvania, and she was an integral part of the rural organizing in 2020 on behalf of the Biden campaign. She helped introduce to the American people folks like Farmer Rick Tellas in Volant, and also my friend Dan Gorley from Union City, Pennsylvania, all involved in various conversations about the impact of tariffs and trade on agriculture and on rural communities, not only here in the Commonwealth, but also across Pennsylvania. Commissioner Hess, tell me, what was it like, helping to rally the troops in rural Pennsylvania this year? It seems that the Biden administration put a particular pulse on making sure that they had the connection to rural America, a connection that was going to help put them over the top at the end of the day.
Yeah, thanks, Chairman Wertz, for the invitation to be on this panel. I'm just so thrilled to be among such superstars as Attorney General Shapiro and Senator Sharif Street and Bob Brady and all of your guests. And what a great feeling today to know that we are entering a new era. 4 years ago, when we heard all about the American carnage and insisting on I alone can fix things, and what a message we heard. And we knew then that was not how we were going to fix America and Western PA and rural Pennsylvania and all of our rural areas. And we knew, we got to work right then, and we all knew that we were going to have to work hard. Rural areas, people in our areas, and we don't want to pit rural versus urban. We need all of our citizens together. We're all important in making our communities work and thrive and be resilient. But coming from a rural area and living here for all of my life, I know that these are special people. We have a love of the land and a work ethic and a neighborly kind of a way about us, and a way that we care for each other that really is special in rural America. And we know we've been waiting for things to get better, and we've been de-invested in for so long in our education systems, in our healthcare, in our community development. And it is so wonderful now. And we worked hard for this. And we know Joe Biden and his administration, we see the appointments he's making, or the nominations for his cabinet, and for these positions that are really going to talk to people, and not talk about just systems, but talk to people as human beings. And that's what we've been hearing for the last year, especially. And that's what we knew as county commissioners. We need to, in rural areas, we need to talk to people as human beings and talk to them about their hopes and dreams and their needs and concerns. We're very good at focusing on the system, and believe me, we work hard as county commissioners and to work on the systemic issues that exist, as Senator Sharif was talking about, Senator Street, and we know that those things are there. And we're really proud of the fact that I think we can work on both things. We can work on the system, and we can also talk to people at where and meet them where they are. I was really pleased and honored to be able to be on some webinars with Senator Klobuchar and the farmers that are the backbone of our area and our country, to talk about how we are going to build back better. I love the slogan, and we know that from President Biden's from his platform, that we are going to build more jobs and more union back and more modern parts of our infrastructure. And we know how important agriculture is and how important it is to have conservation elements there that are going to help our farmers, and how the experts there are going to expand the markets, and so that we can open up those markets for our commodities, and ensure that we have a regulatory system that's fair and equitable to our small family farms. That's really the backbone of Western PA. Here in Western PA, we've got those, we're very vulnerable. The rural areas are very vulnerable right now. We're 2.5 times more likely are folks to die from coronavirus. We've got diseases of despair, the suicides and substance use and mental health diseases that we're dealing with. But we feel a certain investment now that's going to happen, and for real, not empty promises like we've heard for the last 4 years. We know that we need infrastructure, broadband and roads and bridges, water and sewer. We need clean drinking water, just like everybody else. And we're not going to get empty promises and the demands of we need skin in the game from the local areas. We have been putting skin in the game forever. We need real investment, and we know we're going to get that with the Biden and Kamala Harris administration. And I would like to shout out to all of the folks in rural areas, the organizers that worked so hard. I played a very small role compared to what a lot of other people did. And I think of my colleague Commissioner Jeff Eggleston, who roamed all around the northern tier and all over the state practically to deliver signs and a message of hope. And we needed that. We needed that badly, because we know that we're suffering out here, but we're strong. We have grit. Western PA, rural areas, we built this country with our coal and our timber and our gas and salt and all of those natural resources. And we're going to keep on being a leader in the energy industry. We're going to do a little differently, we think, in these coming years. We want to work with all the people that we want to get, honor those folks that build our country, and look forward to a wonderful future of continuing to be a leader in this country in Western Pennsylvania. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you today. I so appreciate it, and looking forward to wonderful things. I felt like a kid on Christmas Eve last night, and today is here, and we're just onward and upward. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner, and all of those initiatives that you talked about, and every piece of Build Back Better means jobs for Americans in every part of the United States, and I think that's going to be a critical piece of this administration moving forward, and helping to lift us out of COVID and out of the economic effects of this health pandemic. But I want to thank you, Commissioner Hess, for joining us today, and I echo your sentiments about your colleague, Warren County Commissioner Jeff Eggleston, who was early to the party in making sure that counties had signs and swag to help motivate volunteers and voters across the Commonwealth. And he was recently recognized by the Penn Dems, the Penn Agricultural Dems as well, at their annual dinner, and deservedly so. So another shout out for Jeff, and again, Commissioner Hess, thank you so much for joining us here today. I really appreciate it. I want to turn back to Chairman Brady for a second. Chairman Brady, as we wrap up here, I want to take you back to election night. You and I spoke late on election night, and I think we were both receiving a lot of the same kinds of phone calls from the press saying your county is down tens of thousands of votes. What do you expect to happen here? And I think we had the same response. We both knew that at the end of the day, way. The votes were going to come through in the right ways. It was just a matter of time. If you could take us back to election night and making that statement to declare that not only Philadelphia but also the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania was assuredly going to go for Joe Biden.
Yeah, that was rather exciting. But Commissioner Hess, let me just say something to you. You didn't play no small role. You played a large role. Everybody played a small role, and it all became a large role. That's how this works. So thank you for all you've done and how you've done it. Election night was a little scary. It was probably the first time I went to bed on a Tuesday night of election and woke up and having my candidate winning, and woke up the next day to find out that he lost a couple of times. This was role reversal, and let me tell you, it's a lot better this way. We left my headquarters with a whole bunch of people, Senator Street, and a lot of our political people here. Joe Biden was down 400,000 votes, and he called me, and he was a little concerned. And he called me like 3 or 4 times through the night, and I said to him, "This is a cake. It's got to bake. It's got to rise. You just can't put it in the oven and take it out and be a cake. A little bit of time, it keeps rising, keeps rising, keeps rising." And what happened was, like on Wednesday, we were down 300,000 votes. Then on Thursday, we were down 200,000 votes. And then me and you spoke again. And as I said to you, and you said to me, this other guy, I forget his name now, who was the president the last 4 years, he kept telling his people, don't do the mail-in ballots, and we were telling people because of the COVID, we were nervous to do the mail-in ballots. So we both know that our votes are coming in because none of the mail-in ballots were getting counted because our state legislators, in their wisdom and their stupidly, would not let us count the votes until Tuesday. So we have a lot of votes coming in Erie, Philadelphia, that we know it's going to take a while to count them. So again, on Friday, we're down 100,000 votes. Then all of a sudden on Saturday morning, when we woke up, it started rising. Got a couple of my guys here, little guy, Mighty Mouse and John Brady, they're the tech guys, and they told me, don't worry about it. This is going to happen because I'm nervous. I'm not going to be like I'm cocky. I'm panicking. And meanwhile, I got Joe Biden and Jim Biden and Valerie Biden on the phone back and forth. What's going on in Philly? What's going on in Philly? And then we started rising on Saturday. We started early in the morning. My guy, little Mighty Mouse, called and said, we're up 10,000. Really? And then the press were calling us and they wouldn't call it. They said, we're not going to call this Philadelphia vote until you're 20,000 ahead. Then we got a 20,000. So we're still not going to call Pennsylvania. We're not going to call Pennsylvania until Philadelphia's up 30,000 votes. So they kept moving the goalposts. But guess what? We reached the goalpost. We were up 30,000 votes. And it was ironic. It was between us and Allegheny County didn't come in. A lot of Erie didn't come in. But when we came in, and it looked like, when we came in, the state came in and they called it. And as they called it, and as it came in, I was on the phone with Joe Biden saying, I think we're going to be okay. They're going to be. And all of a sudden, I didn't hear the TV. I had a bunch of my guys around. They're all jumping around, and I hear him on the other line, on the other end of the phone. He's screaming, and I don't even know what he's screaming about. But I figured that out later, that we end up winning in Pennsylvania. They kept on saying, as you well know, how Pennsylvania goes. The president's going to go. Pennsylvania went for Biden, and here I'm now watching. And I think we all should be getting off soon to be able to watch his speech for the inaugural. But again, Commissioner, there's no small roles. They're all big roles. All big roles. Thank you for your job. Jim, thank you for what you're doing. Tell my guy Ian I said hello. He's my friend. Tell him I said hello. I just talked to him a couple of days ago. And I guess we'll be seeing each other Zoom again pretty soon at State Committee. But again, thank you all. Everybody, stay safe.
Most important. Thank you, Congressman. Appreciate your time today. Appreciate you joining us. Commissioner Hess, again, thank you for joining us and for all that you did throughout 2020 to help rally the troops. And I want to thank all of our guests, Attorney General Josh Shapiro, Senator Sherene Street, and Representative Malcolm Kenyatta as well. Also, a big thank you to our Frank Media here in Erie, Pennsylvania, who helped us produce today's event. And for those of you that would like to stay online and tune into to the official inauguration, which is about to take place, as Chairman Brady alluded to, go ahead and click the link right down in the description, and that'll take you to the Biden Inaugural watch stream. And we will see you very soon on the municipal campaign trail in 2021. Enjoy the inauguration, everyone. It's a great day for America.
Thank you. Stay safe. Stay safe. Thank you.